Oh, really? Oh, really? I will tell you this, Marvel, no matter what, though, if you continue to woke everything up, it won't matter. It'll just be a woke reboot and you'll continue to lose money. You do understand that. And you will continue to lose Disney Plus subscribers. You do understand that. Okay, as long as we're understood, good to go.
So Marvel has confirmed that we are getting a reboot in the MCU. In fact, it sounds like we're getting it sooner than we thought. And in a weird way, it kind of sounds like right now we can kind of ignore the title Phase 6 and kind of lean more into Phase 7 or Phase 1. Because according to the Russo brothers, a new beginning is starting, a fresh start. Now, other executives at Marvel Studios, like Brad Winderbaum, head of Marvel Television, have addressed the reports that Marvel Studios is going to do a reboot of the MCU. And for those who were worried that they were going to do a complete and entire reboot, fear not. Brad Winderbaum confirmed they're not going to do that. They're not just going to wipe everything and start fresh. Now, there is an argument that completely starting over from scratch would be a good thing to do for Marvel Studios, but in a way you can do that with a soft reboot.
Like I said, it wouldn't matter. As long as they're going to woke it up, it wouldn't matter. It's like, okay, new characters played by different actors, or the same characters played by different actors. Okay, no one trusts you still. No one's going to see the movies still. You need to make a change and go back to the golden days.
While at the same time, a soft reboot allows us to remember the past of the MCU and keep it all canon. Plus, Marvel has to keep certain characters that still have a lot of movies left in their contracts, like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So I do believe that this is the way to go, and now the Russo brothers have revealed that they're basically charged with ending basically the multiverse story that we have right now and starting a new story, starting the new MCU, which is probably for the best because the multiverse saga has been kind of chaotic and all over the place. And
yeah, only because they've been effing up the stories. To tell you the truth, multiverse is actually a great concept. You get you're not bound by anything. There's, and having no boundaries is great, but it comes with its own problems. It can border on ridiculousness, but it can also give the fans every single thing that they've ever wanted at the same time. You get what I'm saying? So, it's just that they went about it the wrong way. The concept of multiverse is absolutely spectacular, in my opinion. We've had it in the comics, and we've had great stories revolving around it and bad stories, okay? It's all in how it's done, okay? They decided to go woke during it, so it messed everything up. And so now people have a bad taste in their mouth for the multiverse because it's attached to all the woke garbage. But I don't see any problem with it as long as you do it correctly.
And it looks like the Russo brothers are going to not exactly ignore what's happened in Phase 4 and Phase 5, because it is the MCU. You can't just act like none of it happened, but they are essentially doing a fresh new story for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And in a recent interview, they explained that and confirmed they are going to reboot the MCU. And they even talked about their future moving forward. In a recent interview for their movie that just came out, The Electric State, like always, the Russo brothers were asked questions about the upcoming Avengers films, Doomsday and Secret Wars. But for this question, they were specifically asked,
"Hey, Russo, you got to take a picture with the scarf flapping. If you're gonna rock a scarf like that, you gotta have it flapping, man. All right, the next picture, we're gonna need it flapping."
About what brought him, Joe Russo, and his brother, Anthony Russo, back to the MCU. And it sounds like Marvel Studios basically said, hey, if you come back to the MCU, you can essentially restart it, do your own story for how you want to essentially end the MCU, and then handle how it picks up. Handle how the new universe comes to life. Joe Russo said this: what's compelling about these two new Avengers movies is they're a beginning. He continued and stated,
Okay.
"It's a new beginning. We told an ending story, now we're going to tell a beginning story." Now, the ending story that Joe Russo is talking about here is, of course, Avengers Endgame, which people did know. It was the end of an era. It was the end of the Infinity Saga. And while the beginning of the next saga might not have gone how a lot of people expected it to go, it was indeed a new story. But now it looks like Marvel kind of wants to put that overall story that wasn't exactly
bed.
that well connected to bed. Because as Joe
Yeah.
Russo said, these new Avengers movies are a new beginning. Now, of course, you can't have a new beginning without a end to the stories that have come before Doomsday and Secret Wars. So this is it. These next two Avengers films are going to reboot the MCU, and when they're done, we're going to have a new beginning. In fact, the way Joe Russo described the next two Avengers films, we're going to have a new beginning somewhere in the middle. And this makes sense if you consider what Marvel Studios most likely wants for Avengers Secret Wars, and that is to have everybody in it. There are a lot of restrictions that Marvel Studios can place upon themselves if they want to wait till the next saga to introduce characters like the new X-Men team. And a lot of us thought that it was pretty weird that Marvel Studios decided to introduce our new Fantastic Four team, who was going to survive the reboot, but not any new X-Men characters. We knew that
Thing
old
looks so
Fox X-Men
stupid.
characters would return, and we'd get some variants of some X-Men and some cool cameos, and we got most of this in Deadpool and Wolverine and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And it seemed like at the time, Marvel Studios didn't really have any plans to bring in the new X-Men to the MCU until after the soft reboot, but that was before the Russo brothers came in, kind of with their own plan. And it seems like Kevin Feige agreed, and now the Russo brothers are responsible for ending the Multiverse saga and starting the new one. And the Russo brothers even said in that same interview, who knows where...
We all know why, because they are responsible for the best Marvel movies that we have seen.
We'll go from there. Maybe it will be another 5
The majority
years.
of
I think
them.
we just needed that
Of the
time and
best ones we've
perspective
seen.
to figure out where it needed to go next, and the only thing that brought us back was the right story. Now, this falls in line with a report that we heard several months ago from industry insider Daniel RPK, where he stated that Marvel wants the Russo brothers to handle the beginning of the next era, what Kevin Feige deemed as the mutant era, and what is essentially the start of a new universe. So this all lines up now. The Russo brothers have revealed that in Avengers Doomsday and or Avengers Secret Wars, they are ending what came before, and this is a new beginning for a new chapter in the MCU. But again, do not worry about a full MCU reboot. Marvel executive Brad Winderbaum confirmed they will not do that. In an interview for Daredevil Born Again, he was asked what his thoughts were about a full MCU reboot and if Marvel Studios would consider doing that. And he stated, "Look, I've been a comic book fan since I was 12 years old, and I've seen what happens at comic companies when things get full reboots, right? And the truth is, every time there's been a full reboot in DC, or, DC in particular, but it always feels like you can't really fully reboot anything. The classics always come back around. It's a very difficult
It's
thing
true.
to do to a living, breathing, fictional universe to just start from scratch because of all the fan investment and love for the stories that have
Yeah.
come so far." So, right there, confirmation from an executive at Marvel Studios.
You know what I never liked about the X-Men movies? That Magneto was all old and frail. I'm used to the long, white-haired Magneto with the muscles in the comics. When I saw those movies, I just all the hype that I had to see Magneto just dropped out of me.
They're not just gonna fully reboot the MCU. They're not gonna get rid of the characters in the
And they could have done it. That's just it. They could have done it, but they did not.
stories that we've come to know and love and invest in, as he puts, over all of these years. So we don't have to fear about the stories of Iron Man and Captain America and the first Avengers and everything else essentially being erased from history. They're not going to do that. However, a soft reboot does give us a new universe to play in. A new universe where the Avengers exist alongside mutants and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
It's
and
not gonna
anybody else
matter
that
if they
Marvel
don't do
Studios
it right.
wants to throw in there that they can. And this also helps make sense of a lot of other things that Marvel Studios has done, whether that was intentionally a part of their plans or not.
It's
I
like, what are
mentioned-
you gonna do? You're gonna have the Russo brothers and Ryan Reynolds do all the movies to make sure they're all hits. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I think you should bring Nolan in. I think Zach should do a movie. I think Ayer should do one. Uh, maybe even Bay. Michael Bay. I would love to see a Marvel movie from him. He's good. I don't care if nobody says he's good. He's got his problems, just like any other director. He's got his problems. But you cannot deny that the man knows how to make money with his movies. He does. Cameron. They could get Cameron to do something. That's going to print money. That's going to print money. I would love to see all of the big time action directors come in and do something, man. I really would. I really would. Even the guys like I might not expect, for them to bring in that have done great movies in the past. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a fan can always wish and dream, Could you imagine Martin Scorsese doing like a 3-hour? But he doesn't like Marvel movies, right? He doesn't consider them cinema. But I would love to see his take. He probably would, like, for him to do something like Daredevil, which would be more grounded and mob related, like he likes to do his movies. That would be interesting. Don't tell me it wouldn't be, right? Big Daredevil premiere movie. Big Daredevil. You have Martin Scorsese do it. And he puts his own twist on the whole Kingpin mob. And I think that would be great.
Before, the Fantastic Four showing up in the MCU, but not the new X-Men, was a little confusing because we knew there would be a soft reboot, so them showing up was the first sign that not everything was going to be completely rebooted and characters would survive this. But now it sounds like the Russo brothers have complete liberty to do anything that they want. Telling a beginning story gives you that freedom, and Avengers Doomsday is the perfect opportunity to do that, destroying not just the universe that we have come to know for over a decade, but the entire multiverse that surrounds it. Then building a new universe, a new beginning from there. But you keep some of the old characters from the old universe, and you keep some of the old locations. That way you don't entirely forget and you honor what happened in the past. And this is great because now we can have the new X-Men characters show up in Avengers Secret Wars and survive the reboot, because it sounds like at that point in time, the reboot will have already happened. And I gotta say, I actually do like this, and I've seen a lot of people say the same thing online. Because at the end of the day, whether you have enjoyed everything from Marvel since Phase 4 or not, the overall story of the MCU has suffered. The connectivity has suffered. And that's because, well, Marvel went through a lot of different...
Their purse has suffered. The fans have suffered.
Changes which were very challenging. They had to introduce Disney Plus content, and they put out way too much. And Disney...
No, they didn't put out too much. They put out too much bad content. That's what they did. If they had stayed the course and they had done great things like they had been doing, instead of woken everything up, they'd be fine. They'd be swimming in money today, but instead of hemorrhaging it like they are now.
Has acknowledged this now. The story of the overall MCU and individual stories as well got a little convoluted, and then of course you had the whole thing happen with Jonathan Majors, which made Marvel Studios decide to pivot.
See, Cosmic Wonder's being nice. But, these are pretty words to say they effed up. You see what I'm saying? He's keeping it professional. I'm more down to earth. Okay? I'm a nice guy. I don't talk down to you, Disney. I don't call you a bunch of stupid losers and idiots and morons. A lot of other channels do that. They go right after you. But, some people would say they'd be justified for some of the stuff that you've put out about the fans, saying what the fans are and how they are and this and that, which absolutely are false. But I try to just stay nice the whole time. I try not to put out any negative energy. You know what I'm saying? I say what I think of something and I move on. I let you know and I move on. You know what I'm saying? When I turn these videos off, I don't think about Disney or anything that irritates me. I go about my life. Camera comes on, I say what I got to say, and that's it. See, this is how you live a happy life. if there's something negative that you gotta say, not to sneeze. If there's something negative going on in your life or something you gotta say, you get it out, but you don't dwell on it. That's the problem. If you dwell on negativity, it starts to shape your life. You can't dwell on it. That's the problem. So, yeah.
Pivot away from Ken. Enter Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom as the one and only main villain of the multiverse saga. I actually think that he was probably still coming in
when does his
Ken
bodybuilding movie come out?
which would have been cool, but now it's just Doom. Secret Wars has always been about Doom. Both versions from the comics. And Marvel is now essentially pruning everything that didn't work before in the multiverse saga and starting anew. And according to the Russo brothers, that is happening in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, our new beginning of the MCU. And then it sounds like they're going to stick around and kind of handle the beginning of that next new universe after Secret Wars, which
I'm going to tell you how this works for me. Like, Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom doesn't work for me, right? And it could end up working, but I'm just telling you how I feel about it, right? So, this is how I feel about it. I'm a Robert Downey Jr. fan. But every role that he plays, just because he's back, just because he's here, just because he's doing something, doesn't make me interested. I'll equate it to something else. I'm an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. When I found out that he was cast as Mr. Freeze, I was like, are you serious? And I was correct. I was correct. Just because I'm a fan, just because I love your movies, doesn't mean that you're supposed to play everything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're best cast, in every role that you're ever been cast in. You know what I'm saying? So, freeze, chill. Oh, good Lord. So, guess we're just going to have to see. To tell you the truth, given the choice, what they've done, and they're moving forward with it. I mean, I personally would rather them choose someone else. However, I hope that he does a spectacular job. Why? Because I want to like every movie that I go see.
I think is going to be really great for continuity purposes. And they'll have a great game plan moving forward with how one universe ends and the next begins. Because the Russo brothers are responsible for both. So rather than just having the Russo brothers in the multiverse saga, then getting somebody else to come in and pick up from where they left off and start a new saga, the Russo brothers just handle it all. That way it's a smooth transition. And I think this is the best way to go. And the fact that Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be a new beginning for the MCU makes me even more excited.
I heard that the Russos said that they don't know how to write the Hulk. This is what I would do. I would give the whole MCU to the Russos. They'd be set for the rest of their lives, billionaires, if they aren't that already. And I would let them do every movie. I'll let them do every movie and have them bring in someone that does know how to write the Hulk whenever they need the Hulk. That's it. Cha-ching. Don't woke it up. The Russos bring in a separate writer to help with the Hulk. That's it. Ta-da-da! I think we got you know what I'm saying?
Excited to see what Marvel and the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely have in store for us. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Does this sound good or bad to you? Do you like it or not? Leave us your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the...
Okie dokie. I wonder what that's like when two directors are directing something. Do they just, hey, you do this scene, you do this scene, you do this scene, and why do two directors get together to direct a film? Like, what's the strength in that? You direct what I lack. Like, I you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of wondering, like, why two directors would get together to direct a film. I mean, one's enough, right? But why two? I don't know. I don't know. They just like the collaborative effort they always have directed together. And what's it like being on set with two directors? I've only been on set with one. At any time that I've done a movie. Oh well. 1 million subscribers. Make sure you subscribe to the Cosmic Wonder. Woo!